asylums and prisons and no, you're all not temperate. That's the other group.
But
Yeah. Okay, go ahead whenever you're ready to
All right,
start.
if you guys can read this, it says isolation for the better, which is kind of, you know.
yeah, there was a idea that was coming up during these reforms where they thought it'd be better to isolate the insane people.
And that's what they did, you know, if they said that you were insane, and so you were taken, you were locked away, you were cruel and unusually punished. It wasn't supposed to be punished, but they were treated.
They were trying to treat you, and
Yeah.
they ended up doing some really horrible things to you.
One example is they would wrap you in wet bed sheets and just lie you out.
You don't treat me. You beat me with your fists. Meanies.
And then another one, obviously, like this, we just kind of wrap them, you wrap them up and you prevent them from moving, and this is supposed to calm them down, but
Supposedly.
usually
Come back down.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
so this guy, it all started, sort of, from this guy, Charles G. Finney, and he
Came up with this idea that humanity can be like God.
or
If-
man can be as perfect as
As God, there we go. Which evolved into this moralic dogmatism. Yeah.
Moralistic.
Moralistic dogmatism, which is humans define people, or how to put this, I know what it is. People know what's best for you, basically.
Oh yeah.
And they'll basically tell you what to do. Like, oh, you shouldn't be drinking alcohol, that's bad, and stuff like that. Solely based on what they believe, which comes from the Anglican.
The evangelical Protestants.
Okay,
were,
I'm having issues
like,
reading
It's
today.
all right, evangelical.
Evangelical.
One step
Protestants.
further from self-improvement to just disciplining others.
Yeah.
Like what
yeah.
you're doing right now.
And the Protestants, they kind of led the temperance movement, which was against immigrants and their free drinking habits. And they accused other people of social evil such as prostitution.
And alcohol.
And this was huge. Like, this kind of influenced the rest of it.
Most reformers sought uniformity over tolerance. Basically, they want everybody to be the same, practically, and they didn't want people to.
Yeah. They wanted to control what the society would be like, look like, and so they wouldn't, you know, tolerance comes from they wouldn't tolerate the actions that they didn't like. Okay, so later, Dorothea Dix is very important. She's the face of this reform, and so she traveled from 1843 to 1854. Like she went around 30,000 miles to, you know, advocate insane asylums for, like, you know, the need. We need to have better treatments. We need to have better institutions, and so that created. She advocated for that, but it really started in 1830. There was a push for asylums because people knew that there was something going on. By 1860, 28 states had their own public institutions for the insane, and so it kind of worked what she did. All right, so we took a historical event that happened way back, Salem. You want to talk about that?
So the Salem witch trials is basically where people were accusing. There was a group of girls accusing everybody of being a witch. And if you were
Witch.
Yes. And if you were accused, there's a very high chance that you're either going to be hanged or burned. And there was very little that actually.
Or drowned.
And survived.
Or
Or drowned, yeah. So, let me think about this. It was often based on religion. A lot of the arguments was religious based. I can't speak. And it was mostly women. Where the insane basically were locked up as prisoners. They weren't executed, even though some of them
there
were.
may have been executions, but it really wasn't focused on. This was more about, you know, killing them so to get out of the way. This one was about locking them away so they would become normal
And
over time.
treat them.
Yeah.
Some of the strategies was to perform a lobotomy, which is basically turn the person into a vegetable by
Removing
portion of that. And there was another strategy basically jam like my that's it. But
Some of the
obviously,
similarities between these two, they both, you know, cruel and unusual punishments was supposed to be against our Constitution, but it happened anyway, such as this, or locking them away, or burning them.
or strapped into a chair.
And most of this was caused by people's ignorance of, you know, they don't know neurology, they don't know the medicine, they don't actually know the treatments, so this is how they coped with it.
So if you do not know what neurology is, how do you know what the word neurology? How? Please tell me, you witch.
And all of these people, all of them were labeled as criminals. Like, it was a crime to be insane or be accused as a witch. And this caused a lot of, so many riots. So
So
many riots.
some of the reasons why you could be accused of being insane are,
I can read them if you want to.
if you want to go ahead,
Alrighty.
Read some, you don't read all of them.
Read some of the interesting ones.
like
Kicked in the head by a horse.
there was one that if you fell off of your
Yeah,
horse,
fell from horse in war. There's
or
fighting fire.
smallpox,
Imaginary female trouble.
Yeah.
Uterine
greediness,
Bloody plus, brain fever,
Marriage of son.
marriage of son, laziness,
Masturbation.
gathering in the head, reading injuries, gunshot wounds. There's so many
excessive.
absurd reasons to be put in an insane asylum, and a lot of this.
Wow, I must be really freaking insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's just horrible what they did to accuse people.
No, let me go. We have No,
Oh God, you're gonna fall.
leave me alone. According to that list, I belong in that chair.
I was gonna say a lot.
More than that.
All right, now you wanna click it off?
Yep.
All right. So this is something that we pulled that kind of relates to slavery in a way. And you know, slavery and in asylums and institutions, Salem, they aren't really the same thing. Like, not the same thing is happening. But this whole concept of mistreating people, socially, politically, it's all relevant to, you know, the mistreatment of people. And all of these movements happen, and it kind of promoted the better treatment of people. You know, they finally got insane institutions after they accused people of being witches. And this is just an example. This guy was accused of stealing a bicycle, and he was a colored man. He gets 3 years in prison, while a white man, he stole a bike, he gets 3 years. A white man steals a car and gets 30 days. You see that kind of comparison is kind of, you know, it's absurd, because bike versus car would be more punishable. And so that's kind of our primary document. The other one was also a primary document, but this is another one that ties everything together in a way.
Do you want to talk about the pictures or? should
Oh
I?
yeah. So, okay, what do you guys think this is? This,
It's a wand.
it is a hand, but like, what do you think it's used for?
This section right here.
It's for wizardry.
Is it torture? Is it something else? Is it actually something to help them? Okay, you wanna say what it is?
So this is basically the first heartbeat monitor,
Yeah.
and basically it amplified the pulses that could be detected. And the reason why they had this is they thought, a few people thought that the insanity was caused by high blood pressure or low blood pressure, so they were trying to fix that. Which leads us to the next thing. And
Oh, that was created by Karl von Bierroth.
Here, let me see the
He was German.
yeah,
Where is it?
right there.
Carbon. Yeah, Bureau.
Bierroth. He was
Okay.
German. This other thing, you probably can tell, this is a guy in a chair.
With a box on his head.
It was Dr. Benjamin Rust created this as a way to treat people,
With
insane
fire.
people. It's called a tranquilizer chair.
Oh, so it's a sleep chair. It's a
And
sleeping chair.
basically what the strategy behind this was to basically drown out the senses, which is the reason why they have boxes on the head to stop the visual, stop people from actually seeing and hearing and stuff like that. And it was supposedly to lower the blood pressure.
And you can see they were restrained, their arms were restrained, their chest, upper torso, their legs and everything.
And
There's a little excrement bucket.
bucket, yeah. So they were hold there for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
I do say that was very disgusting for you to talk about.
Yeah.
There's another one. This is just kind of basic. You can see she's being hanged by ropes, and actually, if you kind of like,
Oh gosh, this is a little painful. Oh, hold on, tight.
I
You're
can only
holding-
hold it
you're
with
holding
one
it?
hand.
This isn't your
I
work.
can only hold it with
Oh,
one
okay.
hand.
So like the reason why this is actually quite painful, I'm going that should be here, is if you hold your arms like back like this,
There.
this is about the max you can reach up like this.
All I'm saying is
And
you should
she's being
trust
hung like this.
she's being like suspended from here to the ceiling, here to
Yeah.
the walls, and it's happening like
This is painful, by the way.
Yeah,
This is barely.
and she's hanging.
You know, guys, just hanging around.
Yeah.
Does her feet touch the floor? She just
No, her feet is not touching the floor. She is being suspended in the air.
There goes the elbows.
And I feel like back here where they used to hang people, and probably this was, if her feet were touching the floor, this would probably be another another way to restrain them so they wouldn't be crazy.
And this rope isn't attached around her neck; it's attached around her waist. So
Yeah.
she isn't dead.
Yeah. But it's pretty brutal. That's about it.
Good job, great job, guys.
Woo!
And put your